So I hope you can see my screen. I'll minimize this, I'll do that. Yeah, basically we are going to cover typography. Yes, we may not go in depth about typography since we are dealing with new people, but yeah, we are going to cover typography in like the basics. Okay, the topic is typography basics, but yeah, we shall cover the in-depth of it. A few things I think you need to know about typography before we can proceed within this course. Typography is key in this course or in graphics because it says almost everything. Sometimes you see posters or flyers or designs with just fonts, and then, like, for example, you are not seeing images there, you are not seeing other things there, but the typography or the font used says it all. We have brands. If you see a Coca-Cola logo, if you see certain logos, obviously you just know this logo is from this company, not because you have seen any image about that company, but you've just seen a picture of it. So that's the power of typography. As you are choosing your typography or your fonts to use on your logos into your work, it is key. I'm looking here for some image. I think I just did a screenshot on it. Let me search one. But yeah, as you are thinking about the work that you'll be doing, graphics, logos, typography, you have to think about many things. So typography in simple terms is a key thing that most people don't take that serious. I'll share this car image. Let me save it. Sorry, maybe I didn't come prepared. I don't know. So I'll share this image. When you look at these brands, you have not seen any pictures they are telling you this brand does this. You have not seen anything there that shows maybe, for example, those people that keep saying if it's a school, then you have to put many for like that school form, what. You have not seen anything that does that. But the branding in the back tells you what this, everyone in this class can identify at least 4 of these logos, at least 4 of these companies, and what they do best. You'll know, even if you don't have kids, you'll know Pampa, what it does. Even if you don't take sodas, you'll know what Coca-Cola does. Yes, you may not know the other products, but at least you know Coke. At least you know Instagram. Yeah, most people here are on Instagram. I'm not sure, but at least you know Instagram. At least you know Ford. Yeah, Vimeo, and then the other Carlsberg, you may not know it if you don't support football. But yeah, if you are in a football fraternity, you'll know. If you're in a movie editing fraternity, you'll know Vimeo. Then other brands are maybe common in the outside world, but that's the power of fonts and branding. If these two are combined together, you can get something that is that beautiful. So they built into our minds with just a font or a font type of a font, with just this, they built something with this on top of a brand. They built something on top of our minds. So it shows you how important font choice is. So as you are choosing a font for your logo, keep in mind, how will the public perceive it? How will it be? Then as you are branding, how do you want it to be perceived? How do you want it to be taken? Yeah, I'll stop this, but that's it about fonts. We are going to cover much deeper. So what is typography and why does it matter in everyday life? Before we do anything, we have to ask ourselves, why am I even doing this? Why are we even learning about typography? After all, they taught us how to, to put the fonts on the slide, on the Canva. I can put any font I want. I can change the fonts. Then why are we learning about it? So typography is an art and technique of arranging type, make written language legible, readable, and visually appealing. You'll forgive me to read for you the exact like heading, but that's it. I want you to mark the last words. To make language, written language, legible, readable, and visually appealing. Your work should be visually appealing. When you look at your fonts, when you look at your work, how do you feel about it? Is it visually appealing? Is the work readable? Yes, you wanted calligraphy, but is that calligraphy readable? You wanted a certain font type, but is it readable? Okay, if it's not readable, have you maybe combined it with something that will make a person know it's talking about this thing? You know, is it visually appealing? Yes, you want that font, but it's not good for your brand. It's not good for, it is not visually appealing. Not as a designer, don't insist, no, it's the type that I want, it is the font that I want. Then you insist and go on with a font that is not even visually appealing. So as you are designing, I told you one technique. Put away your phone, look the other side, look again at your phone, or look the other side, look back at your screen, look back at your design. Judge by your own self. Before you share your work with the client, judge by your own self. Is it readable? Then two, put yourself in the client's shoes. As you are designing, yes, you are a designer, you are creative. Maybe the way creatives see things is kind of different from the way normal people see things. So as you are designing, put yourself in the client's shoes, because at least you have talked to the client has told you everything that they need. So if you have not talked to the client, or if you are your own client, ask yourself those questions. Look aside, look at your work again. Is it the best work you can get? Is there anything you can change within that work before you share it with the client? Even if you are the client and you need to share it with, maybe your board, maybe the community, you want to put it on your Facebook account or your pages, is it worth to be put there? Is it worth the brand? One thing that we normally do, the mistake we normally do, is thinking of graphics is an independent entity from branding. These two move like together. For brands to stand, they need graphics. That's why you see Coca-Cola, you see those other big companies doing beautiful graphics designing, but there is a branding team behind. There is a team saying, no, we don't want this. We have this campaign, but we want it to appear ABC. Sometimes you see these big firms have a different branding team and a graphics team. Yes, they work together, but the branding people bring on the ideas they want the brand to stand for, then they portray the idea to the graphics designer. But here in this course, we are teaching you to do both, to be a graphics designer and good at branding. So we want that by the end of the course, you can do good branding of your company, of any other person's company, and you can do good graphics. Yes, if a client comes to you and they give you a certain gig, look at their work, look at what was missing, add life to it. That's what, when I started things, I said I could joke about saying we add life to your brand. It was like a tagline and a joke, but eventually we do that. When we get your work, when they go to a certain team, for example, I was invited on a certain team to help them on live streaming. I asked the guy, first share with me the work that you have been doing. I went through the work and I asked myself, what can I add to this brand? What can I add to this group? Yes, I was taken there for 1 or 2 days just to teach the team and leave them. But after I bonded with the team, I added a lot of things to the team. I told them, you know what? If maybe the person you are going to interview is not around, we can do Zoom. If the person is not around, we can do this. They were not putting tags, like scrolls and tags. I began by putting the scrolls and tags. I told them, okay, now we can begin getting the topics we are going to discuss about on this stream, put them on the tags. Like I design a simple tag for them, put it. So I'm doing the graphics designing with them, like that graphic bit, and I'm doing the IT world that I do best of, streaming with them still. Though my point of emphasis here is What are you adding on that brand? Yes, if they have been designing their work, what is wrong with their work that you have come to rectify? If it is your own company, what are you changing from the previous years? Okay, after this course, can we see changes to your brand? Can we see changes to your brand? Yes, you have been designing your work with different graphic, with different fonts. Can we see a consistent brand? Like see single colors there on your page, see single fonts there. Then this day you designed with Montserrat, the other day you designed with another font, the other day you designed with another color, the other day you designed with another color. Oh, each day you give to another person to do the design for you. So every person, don't even ask these important questions. They come up with their own work, with their own set of things. So why does it matter? It sets the tone of your design, tonnage of the design. How is your work going to be readable? It enhances readability, then it builds brand identity. As we have been talking, the identity, we know Coca-Cola because of its typography. We know Pampers because of its typography. If you see KFC, it's not because of the logo that is in the KFC, but the typo they use, even if they use that typography and put other words, you will know this typography is from KFC. These unique fonts are from KFC. So it builds that brand identity. So if you want to build your brand identity, please put much focus, put much emphasis on the typography that you use into your works. Let your work be that you are. Let your work, let the designs be that. For example, if you are a law firm, let your work look like for a law firm. But you are a law firm, and then the designs that you are using, or the fonts that you are using are for kids. Wow. So we shall go to another slide. Yeah, key terms that you won't miss in typography are these. You won't miss typeface, you won't miss font, you won't miss scanning, you won't miss leading, tracking, and hierarchy. We saw some of them yesterday, but I'll talk about them via these pictures. I won't go into these explanations. You'll read them. You can read also from this slide. But yeah, Kerning is the space in between these letters. This space says a lot. Let me open a Canva page here and see. Okay. I want to show you how that affects your design a lot. And then we see how we get each of those that we are talking of into our Canva. So I'll use another account. Here is where I do this, the designs from. I'll use an account that has 00 people, like an account that is same like yours. Yeah, it has 0 graphics. This is where we learned from yesterday, so I will delete this. Do new F4 size. People cram that you have to use a single size. No, please. You can use A4 landscape, A4 this, A4 that, but I want A4 landscape. So this goes back to what we said yesterday. Before you do anything, know the size of things you want to do. You ask a client, are you going to print it? Are you going to use it for blah, blah? Are you going to do this? So I want, wow, which F4 would be good for me? I would use any, and we just remove those borders. I'll use this. Yeah, we shall delete these. I don't want them. We shall put our words here and see how it affects the design. I'll give it another color. Okay. I don't know how that color looks like. We shall use that. So we are going to put here a few words and show you how each affects the words. I'll put Famba. as my name. So we remember we come to text, then I'll do Famba. Face. Then the other image, let me copy it from this side and bring it there. Yeah. Hope you can see my screen well. Let me maximize it. So, okay, we make this white. I didn't want white, but make it white. So kerning is the space in between these letters. That space affects the font style, the way we see things. For example, some of you are using the same font, but because it has different, kerning or size in between letters, the font feels different from the other. You tell the person, I use the Montserrat. They also use the Montserrat. Maybe you're in the same font size, but it looks totally different. It's because of the other factors that that are attached to it. I'll also do this. I'll make this uppercase. So when you want to change kerning of our letters, you come here, spacing, then you reduce letter spacing. So you see, when it has bigger letter spacing, it is as if it has changed even the entire font family, yet it is the same font family. When we reduce it, you will see still. I know you may not notice that until we are seeing a real design, is when you will see the importance of reducing these spaces or adding them. When do we add them? Why? So you see, yes, same font family, but the readability. Now, if you have a font that has this, for example, some fonts are naturally with less kerning. Can you maybe add the kerning to that font to make it more beautiful? Readability. We are here because we want this font to be readable, to be what? But if you are not seeing spaces in between, it has changed how it is being read or how it is going to be perceived by the client or by the person that is reading this. So kerning is key. Yes, in the future, we'll see how to play around with kerning, what standard space. You also look at your work. No one has to tell you have to put this standard space, but you also look at your work and see maybe the letters are so fitted together, maybe this and that. Yeah, so that is kerning. Leading is the space in between. If we had, for example, this, that is, so leading is key in one thing. One, for example, if we are designing and maybe you had many words and you want to reduce some space and get some, for example, we do this, we do line spacing. Leading indirectly is like line spacing, the space in between. So it either gives it shape or it kills the shape of your work. It is not the standard space that we found there, but we reduced or we increased. Sometimes you might find a font that gives you bigger space and maybe you want to, reduce the space and utilize the space for any other thing, and maybe not even reduce further so that you leave the font readable and that. Hope you understood kerning and thingy. It is key and practical bit of it is you come here. You'll see that work. The more you do the practice, the more you do the things, you'll see. Please. Let us see spacing anywhere. So you see this font? they reduce its scanning. You see the space in between here. No font will give you this small space, but it has hoped to beautify the design because he wanted it that way. And he maybe left the very big gaps. That's okay. This is leading, not canning. The canning is the space in between. But yeah, they reduced both. You see, the space in between letters is so small, he might have reduced the canning and the leading also. That the space in between the two words is also small. You see this design? This space is kind of big and the space in between letters is big. So it is up to you, what design do you want and how do you want it? For example, this design, it is not a beautiful design because you see how the spacing is being done. Amateur. Maybe the person just put the thing in the background, then they put the fonts, and then they did made about the fonts, change their kerning and what. So that's how it affects your design. Yes, you are not seeing it visibly now, but you also have work and you know where you need space, you know where you need this by mere looking at your work. Sometimes the things like kerning and that improves readability, improves the tonnage of your work. Now you see this, they did reduce the kerning, that this letter is almost touching here, then this letter is almost touching the other letter. No font is going to give you that. So you might be there looking for a certain font like this. How did he manage to do that? Yet you can do it with those things like kerning and leading. Or if you can't do it that way, you query the hard way. If you can't do it this way, you see these letters too, still they reduced that, still they did that. So if you can't do it that way, you'll be forced to do this, to type each sentence on an independent line. For example, I'll copy this, paste it here. So within here, I delete it. That's why you'll see other people teaching you how to, telling you have to do this, you have to delete. And so if I wanted to achieve the other thing minus reducing the kerning and what, maybe I don't know about what kerning does and things, I get this other design that I've copied and then drag it until where I want it to happen. Maybe if the kerning is limiting you, you can always do that. So here I'm teaching you how to bypass things. For example, if the leading, you'll forgive me for mixing the two, but hope you got the main points of them. This leading, the space in between, in case maybe if they were in the same lane and it wasn't doing it well the way you wanted it, you can go further, separate the word, then you can even keep moving until the way you want it to appear. Maybe you want it to appear that way and leading wasn't going to give it to you that way. You can do it your own self. Are we together up to that point? But yeah, this affects design, affects how your work is seen on the Canva. You have not been focusing on that. You have been maybe increasing the space just far, and then you don't know even why you are increasing that space. But by the look of the design, does it need you to add the space? Does it need you to remove the spaces? What does it? Maybe you want to add a kind of bigger space to help your work balance. Maybe you want to reduce that space so that it buys you more space for work that is downwards. Before you add the space or remove the space, first think, because there are fonts that will come and it's natural, okay, for you not adding a space or removing the space. So before you add the space or remove the space, why are you doing that? Are you doing it because of how you have? I hope I'm sharing the main screen, guys. Yeah, sure, I'm sharing. So are you doing it because you just want to do it? So if I have a wall that I have to design, what do I have to do? Maybe I have to put space so that text balances and leave space up and down and it is balanced in between the middle. Had I put this up here and reduce this space still, maybe it couldn't have come out well. So before we do this, we have to think. We have to know why we are doing it. Even if we don't think, we have to look at the design and see what is needed of that design to come out well. All the designers that do these works, they first measure, then they see is it centered well. You'll see this is equal space to this. And what helped them to get the equal space is balancing these in between. Had they not balanced them in between, maybe this one is up here, this one is where maybe the space couldn't have come. You'll see these different designs, and then you see the kerning is too small according to the design, according to how you want your work to be. I don't have vivid examples of that, but you'll surely get them as you are doing your work. You'll surely see where you need space. You'll surely see where you don't need space. Yeah, this is bringing random things because we are not searching particularly on what we want. But that's it about kerning and that. I'll go back to our slides. Let me share the slides. I'll leave Canva open, that every example we learn from it. So I'll leave Canva open and then go back to slide sharing. Yeah, we were on this slide. So then tracking is the space between the two words, not between this, but between like that entire line. Yeah, so the descriptions are simple. Typeface is the design. Are you using Arial? Are you using Times New Roman? Then the font is the specific style. For example, personally, the font that I use, you remember when I was giving you the work, I told you I use Montserrat. I use a single font, but I play around with its different variants. Let me show you an example. You'll get to know why, what I'm meaning by that. I'll open this. I'll open my work. I'll do this. Okay, so want where there is another user. I want to put in my user. Okay, I have to do it this side. Let me show you an example of Fans Tech work or any design that we have been doing for Fans Technologies as an entity. I'll close this. I'll come home. I was telling you to design something like Happy Week thingy. Is it this that has my Happy Week? Okay, I'll show you just any font, any. When you look at my work, this is the same font. It is a single font, but how I'm playing around with it. It is a single typeface, but the font variations are the ones that I'm playing around with. You see this is Montserrat, size is 62, it is bold. And when you come further to this Montserrat, you'll see, yeah, where was it? You'll see Montserrat, and then it's different variations. There is bold, there is extra bold, there is black, extra bold, bold, semi. So when I come to this, it is the same thing, Montserrat, but you see, it is medium. It is not even regular or what, it is medium. When I come to these words, that I changed, like the bottom part I changed, but you see, it is Montserrat, but maybe this one is extra bold. Just that it has many Montserrats within, though it is still Montserrat. What variation was it? Medium. So how you play around with that variation? How do you, let's go back to this. How you play around with that variation of, for example, thing that you have, of the font that you have chosen for your own self. That is what is here. So each font has specific style, weight, size of a typeface. A typeface, yeah? Should I use Uganda? It is where it follows. And for example, there is a family, a font family called maybe Montserrat. Yeah, there is that font family that it falls under. Then the font itself with its specific variations. The variations would be, for example, we saw Montserrat, lightweight, light, regular, bold. Those are the different sizes, different weights, extra bold, what. Then the kerning was the space in between letters. We saw that Then the leading was the space in between lanes. We saw that. Then spacing across the range of characters is tracking. Then hierarchy, visual order of text elements. How do I mean? What do we mean by hierarchy? We saw this yesterday, but the visual order, like as I showed you. So in this, we have, for example, heading 1, heading 2, subheading, body. So that visual order, that hierarchy that you place in your things. If you know you want something X to be the title or the topic, make it an heading 1 title. If you want it to be a normal body, make it a body. If you want, for example, an heading and a subheading, do that hierarchy that you follow. So it is key. You'll see hierarchy. You'll find these words. I'll share the slide, the thing where I summarize this from. I also do research. Yeah, yes, I know them, but to teach you, I do further research so that I don't give you katwa. Maybe I know it the other way around. Maybe I know it the Kuiriba way. Yeah, I'll give you the slides. The slides one, and also the link that I got the things from. You can also research about it. You can put key typography terms in your Google, and then they'll bring these terms. Yeah. So fonts and typefaces, we have spoken about this already. But the common typefaces that we have sans serif, the serif, and the decorative fonts. Yeah, the serif fonts have endings with this, like they end with some kind of style of, the way the font appears ends with a style kinda. Then the sans serif ones, it is the opposite. They just end, but minus the other kind of thing, like minus any decoration at the end of them. For example, this font that we are using, it follows under this 2. You are going to read this, but I will read this verbatively. I won't read the definition, but put simply, typeface is a family of related fonts. So a typeface can be vertical, while a font refers to the weight difference. So this vertical can have a vertical regular, a vertical oblique, a vertical light, a vertical, bold, a vertical bold oblique, like that. Hope you got this. So we are not going to spend much time on this. You'll do research. Let's peruse through, go to the practical kind of bit of things. But I hope as we are learning these things, you are picking some important keywords with you. Yes, you may not know the word type font, typeface, or fonts, but as you are choosing your font, as you are choosing, okay, the words or the how you want your font to appear, you have to consider some things in your minds. The space in between them, you may not know the word Kerning, like the space between letter, but you have to know, okay, when do I need the space in between letters? When don't I need it? When do I need the space in between words? Yeah. So font pairing tips and key practices, the best practices. Yeah, the font pairing tips, you'll see most times fonts move in pairs. Fonts move in pairs. We shall go here. Even the Google has it. So fonts move in pairs. You people that are putting 5 fonts on a single design, in fact, you to go class. But that's it. The common way of doing things here, you see, you'll find this moving with this. They will show you how commonly, if you put 2 fonts together, they can, do what? Each other, complement each other. So they tell you this is good for the titles. Then if you have used this for the titles, use this for your headings. If you have used, for your body, if you have used this for this. So Google shows you how to combine the 2 fonts. I'm going to give you this coursework and it will help you out. So I may not go in depth about it because I want you to research about it. There's something I want you to research about it. It is in the coursework. that is shared within the slides. But yeah, why I'm emphasizing this is at least have two font types on your Canva. Why would you have another decorative font, you have another, sans serif font, then the serif font, then other fonts that are not even within this category, and then you have numerous fonts within your Canva, and then it is looking a mess. For you, it looks as a design, you are enjoying the thing, you are like, wow, I have many fonts there, the work looks beautiful, but it is not professional. It is even disturbing the human mind, the way human mind was engineered. It will be disturbing the human mind, like where should the mind read from to? Yeah, so I'll go back to our slides and emphasize more on this. Who said from the start? We're on that page. So most times you pair the serif and the sans serif fonts for contrast. They contrast each other. Like if they are put together, they won't be colliding too much. Then use 2 to 3 maximum. In the best practice, in the other thing that I shared, the person even emphasized it should be maximum. How did she put it? Okay, it is comparison, or it is what? Yes, people would put like 5 fonts. It is okay, but not okay. Maximum, use 3 fonts. But why would you use 3 fonts? If if the design can come out, if you are doing a simple design that has only, for example, the topic of that discussion and maybe something that is small, if you are using a simple design, why do you go beyond more than 3 fonts? You see people were sharing works and then they have more than 3 fonts. They have, many fonts. So I would encourage you to please use only and only these fonts, 2 to 3, but 2. You see, personally, you'll find my canvas using only Montserrat. So ensure readability first. Are your fonts readable? Or for you, you are meaning about the design calligraphy we did in school, and you're like, wow, I have calligraphy fonts. Is that word even readable that you have put into calligraphy? That's why when you are doing birthday flyers and you want playful fonts, we can put happy in the calligraphy font, then birthday down. So a person can relate them, can say, okay, oh, this word meant happy birthday, even if the happy wasn't very readable, but it is close to something that can make it readable, that can complement it. Don't always make all your work graphical. Yeah. So match fonts to your tonnage, to your message or tone. For example, if it's a serious font, a serious message, the font that you will be used will be a serious font, and the colors that you'll use will be serious colors. Then use font size hierarchy. We've talked about this: heading, subheading, then body. Yeah, it may not apply here very well in designing this because sometimes we might put the subheading up, the word, but in website designing and what, you'll always see websites, they have that big heading, then they have a subheading, then they have a border around them. For web, they use it. For graphics, yes, you can still use it indirectly. Indirectly, how you can know, I'll put everything that I want to be very highly readable, like the headings, into the heading format, or those big bold fonts. Then I'll do a subheading, then I'll do a body. Do not stretch your fonts manually. Yeah, it is highly recommendable that way. Sometimes when you overstretch the fonts manually, they will lose shape. It will leave the font family. Jakunyi gave them font family. You will just see, you will tell me, I used the Montserrat, like someone that shared the work. I told them to use Montserrat. But when you look at the work they shared, it is Montserrat, but it is not the same Montserrat as the other person will use. Why? Is because maybe you overstretch that work manually. Yes, sometimes we stretch this work, we do it manually, but by your naked eyes, is this work not overstretched? Is it, is it well, is it not overstretched? Is it okay? Is it readable? You also see, sometimes when you stretch the work, you'll see that this work is not in shape. Yeah. Then align text properly. Left is the best for most designs. I told you yesterday, if you don't know what alignment type to choose, always choose left. You've not seen designs that are center aligned. A few designs are. So if you don't know why to choose, always choose left. Why? Left alignment, it gives readability. For example, a person would read this from this side going this way. They won't lose track. But if it was right aligned, the person reads, then navigating back to the other line would be hard. But if it is adding life to your design, you can always do some right alignment or center alignment if it is adding life to the design, or if it is the right choice at that point. Yeah, when to use what? We are going to end with this slide. I'll take questions. I'll give you a sample thing, Katono, then we shall call it a day. So when to use what? When to use what? When to use what? Yeah, this is not like Kasasi or Bichi or go and use these fonts. No. The exercise will tell why I chose this. So law firms, government, and education use sans serif fonts. They feel trustworthy, formal, and authoritative. For example, Times New Roman, Georgia. You always wondered why you were in campus or at school and they could tell you put all your work in Times New Roman. Do you remember that? Times New Roman, Trailove, blah, blah, like those instructions they were giving you in your word work that you were doing. So Times New Roman and these follow under this sans serif font typeface, but they are good for these institutions. And we are not saying because you are that institution, use only that. I would encourage you to do research and then tell us why you have used that font. IT firms, they use this. So for example, Google, Trello use Montserrat and what other font says there, and Roberto. So you'll find fans technologies copying only Montserrat and sticking to that. Maybe where they need any other font, they add Roberto. They are not just choosing it. They are choosing it because they appear modern, minimal, and efficient. I've never seen my designing a bulam. Yes, ziba zibulam, but the font is just enough for me. I don't want to put calligraphy into an IT or bichi farm and then you find me putting those funny calligraphy fonts. Yeah, learn when to use them. Not every time you have to use them. Not every time you have to use these playful fonts. The other slides that I've shared will explain further more about these things, these fonts, when to use what, why are we using that. So bakery, fashion, beauty use script or elegant display fonts. They feel personal, soft, feminine, and artistic, like they are in form of art. Why? Because we are dealing with, because most people in these fields are, either female, yeah, there are male species there, but most salons are female salons. Okay, beauty and bakery. Even if we find men, they are circled to being female thingy, female fields. So you can use some of these fonts. Yeah, your take home. Please note it, screenshot it in case you don't get the slides on time. I want this work seriously. We are not going to cover any other class if this work is not produced. It is going to lead us to the bigger picture as to why you joined this course. So if you were paused, if you're absent-minded, pay attention to this question. 1, at the end of this slide, this lesson, go home. Think about an industry you are passionate about. Tech, fashion, education, construction. Like, think about that industry that you are passionate about. Research which fonts are commonly used in that field. Choose 1 to 2. Don't choose 3. I want 2 only. 1 to 2 fonts you would use if you were designing for that industry. Even if you don't have the industry, if a tech company came to you and then they told you to design for them, and maybe you ask them, do you have a font? And then they don't have a font. So what font would you use to design for them? So imagine that industry, then what fonts would you use to design for them? Submit that work in a short paragraph of 3 to 5 lines. Line 1 would say industry, IT. Fonts chosen. You give me the fonts Montserrat and Poppins. Why have you chosen it? Because they are elegant ABC. Give an example of a real company that uses it. Tell me Google uses Montserrat and Roboto. That's the font that you saw on the Google page. That's the font that you see here. Give me live examples. When you copy from live examples of these industries, you'll see how they do their graphics. You'll see how they, integrate this font that they are using within their graphics. So it will answer all the questions that are disturbing you. How can I choose a font? Which font should I use? You don't have to stress over this. Copy from industries that are already doing it. You are not even copying. It is a standard. It is a standard. There is a reason as to why that industry is using that. Then two, yes, industry X might be using that font, but maybe it might not be suitable for you. So don't take it because industry X is using it. Industry X osobola ojjukubwamu ebintu n'ogamba, darlings, is a good air company, but I don't like their font. Yes, it is your own choice. So make research. This is an open book research. Put into your AIs, go to Google, go to YouTube, ask these questions to YouTube, to Google, and everywhere. So this assignment, take it serious, take it home. Make sure by the time you come into my next class, you have at least submitted this assignment. I'm going to share a link where you're going to submit this assignment. So this will help you. This is not helping me. It is answering those questions that you are telling me. Font is giving me hard time. What font should I use? I see many fonts. I don't know what to choose from. You end up choosing from fonts that are not within your category. You are choosing kiddish fonts, and then you are maybe this mature farm. You are a low farm, and then you are choosing fonts that are feminine. You are a low farm, and you are choosing fonts that are for kids. So if you deal with nursery kids and that's why you see all nursery schools, the way they are painted, the fonts they are using, they are not by a mistake. They won't say, schools are serious institutions, so we use serious fonts. No, before you use that font, is it under that category of, yes, Canva will show you the different fonts it has, but is it worth that field that you are in? Any questions? I'll take questions that you people have. Cover something small. There is a trick I want to show you in case you don't have that font within, or in case there is an addition to a font. How do I play around with it? There's something I want to play around with, show you that example within Canva, then we call it a day. Then I'll still emphasize something with Canva. Practically, we shall have a practical session of a few minutes after these questions. Any questions? Yes, please. Am I speaking alone? Any questions? Many people have left. I don't know why. Maybe because the thing was boring today. Guys, am I boring? By raise of hands. Yes, Kenny.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Famba, for the lesson. I want to ask you about this font. Like, do they have effects? When you put a font on the page, can they be editable? It's my question. Can I edit a font?
Okay, is another person. Someone was raising their hand. Kenny, you can mute. Then another person asks. Any other person with a question? Unmute and ask.
Yes, Mr. Famba, thank you for the lesson. I would like to know, you told me about the white spaces. How are they added or how are they applied?
Okay, Mukisa has a question. Mukisa, you can unmute and ask what you want to ask.
Yes, I have asked. I don't know whether you have heard. I've been asking about the white spaces in the flyer. How are they applied?
Okay. Any other person before we continue? If you can't type, you can type it in the description, in the comment section. Today's network is a problem. I've been so much disturbed. Oh, sorry about that. Was it my network? I want anyone to unmute and say my network was at least fine because I have alternatives. If it is a poor network, I can switch to any other, I can switch to my phone.
It was okay. Your
Oh,
network was good.
okay. Okay, let's answer those questions. One was white spaces. How do we add them? We answered that yesterday, though we won't get tired of answering questions. The other question was boom, boom, boom. If I add a font, can I edit it? That's the second question. The other question, yeah. So we cover the person of white spaces. White spaces has no technique. I told you yesterday. Let us make this another color. I hate white. I'll make my fonts white. Please mute. I left that privilege for you because I didn't want to toggle front and back. I want you, when you want something, you can ask there and then, even when I'm midway the call. So the person that is asking for white spaces, there is no way. Okay. You see every design that is standard, that is online here, it has white space within, it has a space within. So no one is going to teach you how to do white spaces, but leave it by default. Take mbongo by default. One, just make sure you always leave a space at the left, bottom, and right. If you are not sure, Canva does for us this. Let me copy this.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
Yeah, you're not sharing the screen, eh?
Oh, yeah, that's why I left that thing. When I'm not, person can. Sorry, then others were just quiet. I'm going to slap someone's son or daughter. Okay, hope I'm sharing now. You can mute. Yeah, so about white spaces, every design that you see that is a standard design, that is pre-default, it has white space for a reason or reasons I gave you yesterday. I told you some devices that we read from these things might consume all the space, like your words may not be readable. So make sure you leave a simple margin for your work for it to be readable. You leave margin here so that a person doesn't track, like the eyes don't track to the end. So you leave a gap here, you leave a gap at the bottom, aside, then even at the bottom. Even if the person is using a phone that is curved and then the curves go within, for example, your design, they can still read. Yes, the curves will take this shape and then the words at least will be to the end. Different screen sizes and screen gestures are the ones that made people to put these white spaces. For example, the TV of Chibuto, all those analog TVs before, up to now, if you are watching TV with them, you'll see if the tag of a certain TVX was designed to the end, that Chibuto will cut off the tag. You can, if you have ever seen that, you can, accept, or you can concur with me. So different designs of gadgets and also readability of the eyes. always leave a white space. Echo chemanyize chetekemu teri standard white space. That's why I told you you can violate the rules by following the rules. We shall copy any. I'll copy this. You see every design never by zero in a white space. So make it pre-default by your heart, by your mind, by your what. No, it have to leave a white space. No standard says, but yeah, leave that. That is up, you know. So I'll copy this. You see, it has space, it has space, it has space at the bottom. I'll copy this. I just want to show an example that is not a serious example though. I'll paste it here. So if you are unsure of how much white space you are going to leave, you see Canva shows you this. You see this box that is in between. We call them safe margins. When you are editing videos on Premiere, that's why sometimes we add something what we call a safe margin. So this thing that we are learning about white space and what is not only applying this side. Let me open my Premiere here and show you how safe margins are, because I've been editing some project for a client. But yeah, it is showing you a safe margin. So no one is going to tell you end here or end there. No, but Benjo last time gave you a trick by saying you can add rulers and say you add. Always just do this. Well, when you move your object, it will show you where it ends. So if you are unsure, please end within the safe margins. Now, I told you you can violate the rules. As you are violating the rules in the okay design, maybe you have a lot of work and then you have to violate the rules of safe margins. You want to use the space below the safe margin. Yes, violate the rules, but even if you are violating the rules, leave a gap still at the bottom, like a small gap. If you are unsure, make sure you end within the safe margin. Don't say you. Actually, I would encourage everyone here, since you are all beginners, always work within the safe margin. Verdict, tumazo kona mstamp. That's how you'll do it. Always work within the safe margin. I'm going to share my Premiere Katono. There's some project I'm editing for some international company, and show you that even in Premiere and other softwares, we have these safe margins. So you see Premiere shows you that, yeah, your entire video goes up to this side, but this is a safe margin. You end somewhere, you leave a gap there. There's no way we are going to teach that, you have to leave this gap. This is the standard. No. If Canva has shown you a safe margin, end within that safe margin. If it has not shown you, estimate, but at least leave a gap. So if I right click here and say remove safe margin, I will work without a safe margin. Yes, my work is okay, will be okay. Though, if I'm putting tags and what, I need to put them within a safe margin. So what we are learning, as I told you, it is not only applying here, but it is applying everywhere. If we design a tag for this thingy with Canva, the safe margins for Canva run up to here also. So if you design that you went beyond the safe margin, even when you bring it to your Premiere, it will be out of the safe margin. So as you are designing, put the safe margins in mind. Let me close the project. Put the safe margins in mind. Yeah, by default, Canva will give you that safe margin. If you can't find the safe margin, put rulers around, but rulers will confuse you more. That's why, yes, I buy that idea if you're a senior. But if you are not, just use the safe margins. If you are not, just put the safe margins. Okay. Oh, permission to access this design. Nope. Switch account. I was doing something, yet it had changed here. But that's it. Safe margins, imagine the way they are. Okay, margin is not imagining, but yeah, it is always around there. Canva puts it for you. Even if you are in a portrait mode, add, then we make this portrait. No. Even if you're in portrait mode, add a safe margin, please. Are we together? Have you learned that? Even if you don't add them, leave an imaginary space, katono, even if it's katono, but at least leave a space there because of different gadgets that we use and different things that we do with it. The eye tracking, the eyes should read up to somewhere, not the person changing their phone to the end because they want to read some work at the end. So it helps on readability and other factors. The person that was asking about font, can I edit the fonts? Yes, you can, surely. Everything that you do around the font is editing it. So for example, if I convert this to Montserrat, everything that we are learning is editing font. So if you convert this to Montserrat, or pop-ins, I'll do pop-ins, extra bold, that. So by me adding a space in between them, that is a lane space, and then it is within one lane, so you won't see the changes. By me adding a space, that's editing a font. That's changing a font. By me changing font type, by me changing anything that is attributed to a font, size, space, what, that's editing a font. Changing its font color, that's why you are seeing font color. You are applying that change to a certain font. So you are editing a font indirectly. I hope I got your question well. If you meant editing in any other way, any changes that are applied to that font, they are called edits. So a person will tell you, go and edit that font, change its font color. That's an edit on that font. So by me, you coming and changing its color, it's what? You are doing an editing on that font. So by the time you ask, am I able to edit a font? Yes, you can edit. You can do changes to it where it is already on your Canva. Even if you want to change the same font, for example, if you want to change the font and then you no longer want the pop-ins and maybe you want this one, you can change the entire font. You say, I want blades around it, you can do the bladings. You say, I don't want that much big space around it, you can reduce the space. Any changes that are within that font that are occur to that font are font changes. It is you editing that font. You say you want it left alignment. You say you want it maybe center alignment, maybe justified, maybe right alignment. All those are changes to a font. Those are editings to your font. You are changing its form. It is no longer the font that you picked the way it was. Any change that you do is changing it. So what we refuse you from doing is changing this way. It works. Sometimes it makes the like Premiere and other thing, make the font change its type and become deformed. So indirectly, what you would do if you want to change maybe the size, you would reduce that or rate the size here that you want, colors. Then you see this font particularly doesn't have bold because it is naturally bold. So some fonts don't have other variations that you'll call me and say, I picked this font and then I want to make it bold, but the bold thing is inactive. Yet maybe the course you showed us that you can make a font bold. Yeah, some fonts don't have variations. So fonts with variations will show you, they'll have this arrow. So you can click down, then they show you the different variations that are within that font. Homework, take it serious. Those struggling with fonts, it's because you are choosing random fonts. You are just looking through. You don't even know why that font is used that way. Though sometimes as a designer, you look at a font and it is beautiful for that design. Use it. Don't again insist, we have to use only this font. No, I have used these fonts on different designs randomly, but they are suitable for that. If you are designing a campaign, they are suitable for campaign. They bring out the campaign message well. If you are designing for something, like different things that we design for share almost the same fonts. Let's come here and put law firm. You'll see their fonts will look almost the same. They are different fonts, but you will see their fonts. They don't have playful fonts there. They have kind of those serious fonts that, yes, when you look at it, you see need low, need this, like that. So law firms would use serious fonts, but Google around them. You might find this font is the same as a certain other font, but just maybe the way its variation is what, like maybe someone used it more seriously, someone used it playfully. So find, before you go to that, a person was designing about charity. You'll find most charity flyers would share maybe same characteristics, same fonts, same what. So why would you design as if you are a lonely highland? Though design, though charity is over tegwa particularly somewhere, but yeah, there are strict organizations that follow under some things that you wouldn't find playful fonts on a serious advert. So donations, what fonts are you using? They are kind of serious, but they're in between there. There are fonts that would attract someone, but you are not finding calligraphy fonts. Even if they are there, the keywords like we need with the needy, or the keywords we need help, the keywords reach out, the keywords charity, the keywords we need your help are not in any calligraphy. They're invisibly read out font. You see, reach out, Oyo, reach out to this, World Charity, Turkey, girl child, your help, yes, L child, but your help is within that font that will be easily readable. This one, operation, but the feeding child, which is visibly read, like it makes sense when a person reads feeding a child this Christmas. You know, even if you have not gotten this upper word, you know that, okay, this font is about feeding children this Christmas. Then the way they have arranged their work, the way they have put the feeding the kids, help the needy. I'm not saying they are, okay, that beautiful design. So this one was designing for the children. Since they are designing for the children, they had to put those fonts that are, children related. So if you are designing for kids, what fonts are you using? You saw, Master, you told us to use serious fonts. Now, we find you designing for a certain thingy or a graduation of the kids, and then you are using a very serious font. Yeah, so the main purpose is, before you tackle anything, before you go into anything, do some research. Ask ChatGPT. Don't use AI. AI came and you have to accept and use it. So don't use ChatGPT or that AI that you use. WhatsApp has AI inbuilt. Don't use it for only serious work, like maybe copying exams, maybe asking them serious things. Ask them the things. If you have a project, ask them, I've been given a project, blah, blah. Put in the words maybe the client gave you. Tell it to summarize for you. Tell it you want to put this on a poster. Summarize it for me. How can I portray it on a poster? It will make, yes, it was not going to design for you, but it will tell you, paragraph this, do this, this, do this, this, do this. Use this as a header. So it will give you the hints. Because you'll find a client telling you just about the project, but since you are not creative, you also don't know where to start. You don't know what heading to use, what to use. Hope you picked something. Unless I have any questions, I want to tackle something about font cutting, then let you go. I'll stop sharing and take in any questions. Oh, but the word juice is disturbing me. Oh, okay, we shall delete the word juice. You want juice also? Please don't slap us. Yeah, I won't slap anyone, but I'll slap. What is the difference between typeface? But I answered that, and font. Typeface is the family where the fonts follow under. Montserrat can be the typeface, Helvetica can be the typeface, then Montserrat, bold, Montserrat, which is the font. Yeah. Does Canva allow plugins? Yes, though most plugins are being paid for. They don't act as plugins, they are called apps. Am I still sharing my screen? I'm going to share and show you. They are called apps. We are going to cover them next week, as we are covering motion graphics too. Then effective tomorrow, since we have the colors, since you know your font that you want to use, we shall be covering in-depth practicals of tricks around Canva. Yes, can you ask?
Yes, Mr. Famba, I've got that thing of graphic, the thing of font.
Yes, please.
Though I asked another question, you never replied to.
Which question?
The effect of this, sometimes we get these logos with that white thing on the back. So when you put it on the picture you are editing, so how can I remove that white color to get the clear logo without the background? Does Canva do it?
Okay, so I'll answer that. I'll answer that now. Any other question I can take in before you answer? Okay, he's asking something that is important, removing backgrounds. Yeah, some person in the group shared how you can remove background with a different software. Yes, please. Someone is asking?
Yes. Can we create logos, maybe like a school badge using Canvas? Like the previous speaker has communicated without that background color.
Okay, I will answer that. Yeah, let me share my screen, Cartoon. What you can do with Canva, the limitation is just up to you, but I've done numerous things with Canva. I've done many projects with Canva. I've done all the graphics for this person. It was Cruzeira something. I done all these. I want to follow under my work. I've done all their badges and what, just that I don't want to share client's work. That's why I always keep in the other new account. Some client almost sued me last time. They put that thing on TikTok, then the client reached out to me while filming, but you're already going to share this work online. Then if I share that work online still, what is the problem with it? Though no longer share people's work, but I've done many things with Canva. Many things. I want to go where I designed a logo. All these logos were designed with Canva, these ones. I picked an idea from this, then came out with something unique. Designed many things with Canva. These international companies, ATC Homes, their entire thing, logo what was with Canva, the different logo variation of it, showing how it can look in different colors was with Canva. So I've done many projects with Canva. I've done lottery projects with Canva. Yeah, so Canva, the limitation is just upon you. Learn something, do something beyond it. If you learn about fonts, do something beyond fonts. Yeah, we shall go here. Let me share my screen. If I was not sharing, no, I'm already sharing. I want to show you two areas. Someone was asking how to remove background. I hate it, but yeah, it would work. Something called background remover. With Canva, if you don't have a pro version, you can't remove background. So the people without pro version can remove the backgrounds outside Canva, then upload a PNG picture that is already. So we are going to get a logo. Let me come here, come to file, home, where is home? Okay, come home, then search for logo. Then I don't encourage you to use the main templates that you find here. That's why you find nowadays, you find logos, always be creative, do some changes around that work. There's some guy that uses this. If you find these logos, they are common. So we shall download this logo. We shall take this. We're not going to use it, but in case you wanted to use it, you can. Though I would encourage you to be creative. Yes, find an inspiration of among those logos, but find how you twist it around, not to look the same as the other way. Shall download it. We are imagining you have been editing this, you have gotten different variations, how it will look on what backgrounds. So we shall download it. You have changed it to white. For example, if you wanted to use it to a black, you have gotten all different variations of this logo. But we are going to download this one, minus any variation. So download, get our logo. We can give it a name. We shall leave it with its official name. When it comes, it will come to downloads. I know, I'm sure you can't see my downloads, but this is okay. So when you come to background remover, you drag your project or your thing you want to remove the background and drop it on this area. So we drag our logo, drop it there, it remove the background for you. So those people were like, okay, Fawata enough free design, activated Canva, blah, blah. You have, there's a way you can remove background minus doing that. Though it has its effects, I'm going to tell you the effects and then show you a better way of removing backgrounds in any other software without these effects. I'll go back to this. I'll go to my designs. Shall go home. So here the lesson we have picked, we have learned how to remove backgrounds. When I bring my thingy, the one that we have removed background to this, you'll see it doesn't have a background. Yes, it's not color matching, but it doesn't have a background. And then now this Canva has this effort of, you can change the colors. Though tokyusa color ya client nga si yakusabye, ajja kukuba omugere. As a designer, you have to think like on these colors before you design them. So it has been brought without a background. So we are imagining you were designing it as your own logo. You downloaded it with a background. Since you are using a free version, it will give you with this background. You've managed to remove it outside, and it is not pixelated. Yes, on some pics it will be pixelated. That's why I hate using it. But since it is small and what, you might not see the pixelation of it. You see? So some pics will be pixelated. That's why I hate using this background remover. I love it. I use it for many projects of mine. Though if you are using Windows, I'm not using Windows, so I may not demonstrate this, but that inbuilt Photoshop photo editor that is in removes background well, and then the backgrounds the image will come out with high resolution if removed the background from it. Sometimes they remove the background from here. If they're high resolution pictures, they may remove the background from Photoshop or from that inbuilt software for Windows. So depending anywhere, but you can always remove the background outside from me. There are many background removers. If you go online, there are those that don't even reduce the quality. Just say background. That's why I encourage you people to do research. So this is the one that we have used. There's this one for Adobe, the Adobe Express. The person told you they use Adobe Express on their phone. So products from Adobe I wouldn't think they would, reduce the quality of the image. There's this OpenAI, remove a background. There's this guy, all these erase background. Maybe one may not, reduce the quality of your image. Okay, this one gave us 500 by 500 as a free. If you come to download, you see the free one shows you 500 times 500. Since it was already a small picture, it didn't put another paid version. So we go to another background remover and see how much space they can give us. How much size they can give us. If they can create a more size, but all the image we are applying is also 500 by 500. So it has not reduced it, it has not added on it. It sometimes reduces when we give it, those higher resolution pictures. I don't know how to use this. I've not been using it. at here. Drop the image here. Maybe you have to drop it here. So after dropping, something went wrong. Please try again. Yeah, but you can always do the research around things and then see how you can do it. There are many tools there that can do that for you. So go online, search for these tools. Do personal research. At least Mbade site etandika, if the image doesn't require much resolution, it won't reduce it. You see, what we uploaded was that. What it is giving us is the same, upload. So it has not reduced its quality. Okay, hope I answered that. Then the Windows thing can do it. Then the person in the group told you they use Adobe what? Adobe Express, and it is free. And then Adobe products, I wouldn't think they would, do the background remover. Those that use phones too can use Adobe products. Just that Adobe most times wants us to sign in. I don't want to sign in. Yeah, you can sign in and keep doing that. Keep using Adobe products. Or the person that used it can give us, a hint on how it was used and well. But yeah, I hope I answered that. I want to show you something that is like, don't limit your creativity. I'll share some work here that had a weekend thing in it. That client doesn't want to be shown online, sorry. Okay, which work should I share? There's something that I want to share with you. All in all, I don't want you to be limited by creativity. No. I think. Oh, okay. As a welcome questions. Let me first stop sharing the screen. I share the other where exactly I want. As I welcome any other questions. Yeah, any other person says I use Microsoft Designer. Tewali haka alina access for pro version without payments, just asking. Yeah, if we have anyone that can provide a pro version, well and good. So there are many tools there and osobola okukigiramu eri n'oleeta kiwedde. Tomenyekana nsi. As we are looking for that pro version. Okay, so I'll open this slide. Any questions before I continue? I'm ending with this, though I'm not going to elaborate all of it. I'll just show you, because we had agreed an hour session, we are beyond an hour. You see this? It is a font called Montserrat. But yes, it is Montserrat. How are you creative with your fonts? The idea is the creativity. The same fonts that you are using are the same fonts that we use, but we make our work come out differently. So Montserrat, extra bold, give some spacing around it. Then how to extend the K. Yes, if you're in a Photoshop, you know how we do it. But here you are not in Photoshop, but you want to pull out the same design as Photoshop. So come to your work. I taught this and people didn't take it for seriousness. If you look closer at this work, the K is a normal K. Go to shapes, draw a rectangle, resize it, make sure it fits within the K. It fits within the N. Okay? Keep making it larger until it exactly fits. So you'll come up with a unique font that people don't know where you got the font from. People will be like, that font can't be Montserrat. But the creativity around you, the Canva that I teach Canva for creatives. I want people to be creative enough. Most times they use Montserrat. You say this is Montserrat. Just that each variation changed, Montserrat. You'll find all my work using the same font type, Montserrat, and then this is Montserrat. You see? Montserrat. pick that font, J Kwate, learn how to play with it in and out. You can call it a day. Hope you saw this. So learn how to play with your fonts, learn how to, do the kerning, do the spacing between it, make sure it comes out beautiful. Learn how to play with its different variants it has. A person would think this is another font, this is another font. Person would not think this K can be gotten from Montserrat. So what am I saying? Play around with your fonts, find how creative you can be with them. To make sure your thingy you keep enlarging it. Then other people that were saying, you see, Canva, Aika, if you enlarge something like this and then it is not pixelated, so it means it won't be pixelated in the end. Yeah, so you keep enlarging and then resizing this, moving it until it is on the exact line where you want it to be. That's how we manage to pull out, to pull off or pull out like that, pull off this design. Simply, we can design. I also picked it online. I can show you where I picked the inspiration, but I liked it. But I was using Canva. I was like, how will I get this? So you might find a design out there, and then you're like, I can't make this with Canva. You are limiting your creativity. Anything that I see online, that's why most tutorials of mine that you see there are like anything that can be done with any other software can be done with this one. And it is a free version. So you people keep saying, you want a paid version to be able to do this. If you can't play around creatively with the free version, even those creative things with the pro version, you won't utilize them. Weekend flyer. I remember searching that, then I got it. We shall find it. You see this one? But I changed the words that were there. I changed how I put my, my follow things. You change, not always that when you get a design, copy exactly the way it is. We want if a person finds the design, they may not know you copied from the same design. Where is it? If you put these things together with the other design, they won't know you copied from the other design. Yes, change the words. Find something to change with that design. Find something that can fit within your company. Yes, you got the idea, but how does it fit within your company? Is it not violating your rules as a company? If something needs to violate your design thing you have been following, the fonts you have been using, then let it go. But yeah, that's it. There are many people that copied from it, and each person came up with their own variant. This one came up with this variant of work. Maybe another person came up with this. You saw my July poster, like the letter was moving behind her, and yet I'm using Montserrat. How did you come up with that? Simple take. So I would encourage you people, go there. There is nothing you are going to create that is new. If something is beautiful, find it, play around with it. I was telling people to design a Monday poster. There are many Monday posters that are out there that are beautiful. You see, it's a Monday. I designed this with TikTok. I explained it. Monday. So be creative around, create beautiful work. Yeah, the other person copied from this or picked an inspiration from this. It was a tone thing. There's one person that designed. I know it. This was his design. Here were the words, a tone out design. He put follow up. He put my initials up down here. That's it. Pick inspiration somewhere. Be inspired. You see, it is the same thing, but people are using it differently, and the design will come out different. Don't always copy the exact yes, but even if you copy the exact thing, you might not find that thing in Uganda, and it is far. So pick inspirations. They'll help you learn how to, to arrange your work and do what. So when you reach a time when you don't need the inspirations, maybe you can do your own branding. But yeah, in the start, even up to now, we pick inspirations. Even big companies pick inspirations. Yeah, that is the end of today's lessons. I sign out unless you have any questions or what. The bit I wanted us to cover was how I managed to come up with the other K with the same font, but I've shown you how. I wanted to take you through process by process, but no, we won't go through process by process, but at least you've gotten the hint behind playing around with your own fonts scanning them, cleaning them, resizing them, giving them different variations to make your work beautiful. Your work should be readable, readable, readable. Any questions before we close the session? Tomorrow is there a lesson? I'm still thinking about that. Thank you very much, sir. You can unmute and say something. We unmute with one person. They close the class with us. That's why fonts are key. So the fonts you've seen within this lecture are not the same fonts you have been using or the same fonts you have been designing with. Are not the same fonts you'll find at NASA. I'm not saying NASA work is bad, but some people that didn't go through font classes and watch, they are using the same font for different organizations, different things. So yes, NASA has good graphics people. Sometimes they do make graphics with NASA, but the person I do with went through a Kakunguta and he passes. Yeah. So I do their work. Yeah, they have good people, and then they have these people that are there, but maybe just learned. Again, they were brother in our graphics, and then they just kept seeing them doing the graphics, and they learned how to place letters on the page. They even don't know why they are placing the letters there. They even don't know why maybe they are center aligning them, maybe why they are left aligning them. They don't know, but they learned how to put letters there. And then they put the letters there, they put the images there, or they copy from something, and then maybe even the person they are copying from, remember they are benchmarking from them own selves. People there may not even know Pinterest exists. So they are copying from themselves, and then you are copying from already a wrong design. That's why I told you, if you are picking an inspiration, make sure you are picking the inspiration from a right source, a right place. Can we have someone close the session for us? This was impactful. I can't wait to present my work tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, please present the work tomorrow. Do something with what we have learned so far. Yes, Kawes Brand, you were saying something.
Yeah, yes, and I was just thanking you that we are really grateful for the work that you've done, which is so marvelous that now each and every time, each and every lesson we finish, we go a step ahead. And I do believe by the end of this course, we shall be seniors. I don't know what others are thinking, but for me, I've gained much so far ever since I joined, and I do believe, yeah, we shall work with you and we shall become experts as you are. Thank you, sir.
You are welcome. Thanks for that. I'm not an expert yet. I also copy the designs from somewhere.
At least you are seeing. Yeah, but for us, in our eyes, I don't know what others are thinking, but in my eyes, yeah, as for now, you are my expert.
Yeah, in the expert world, we don't call it copying. We call it picking inspirations. We have a joke about senior developers that do web developing and what. They are seniors in copying and pasting code. They are seniors in how to prompt Google to give you the right answer, the right code. So you become seniors in how to copy inspiration. We're going to copy some design. And then this design is from a Nigerian person. And then your work is shared within Uganda, or even not within Uganda, but even if it is international work, and then your work is kind of unique. Like people will ask, where did you get this work? So what I always do, I've given you Makers for free, is I copy from more than one design and integrate it into one. Say copy how X design brought their headings, then how Y design maybe brought their images. So you copy from two different designs, integrate it into one, and then it will come out beautiful. And then if they put this design together with the people you copied it from, no one will tell that you copied this design from here. Why? Is because you copied just a thing from their designs. Then two, if you are new and then designing is giving you hard time, for now, copy from a single design. You can always mimic duplicating the same design, doing, within one design, but at least copy from one design. If the idea of you copying from one design is giving you hard time, when you master the art of picking inspiration, we are not going to call it copying anymore. When you master the art of picking inspiration from a certain design X, then with time, it will keep growing. Then it keeps you knowing how design rules apply. You'll know, okay, yeah, this is why he left space. This is why he did this. This is why he did X and Y. So everything that we are learning, you learn by you interfacing with designs and seeing the reasons as to why maybe they left the gaps, maybe they reduced the gaps. You might see a design X with reduced gaps and you're saying, no, you don't like why he left the space. As you are typing, you are editing your work, you see, you have much work that can't fit within the space. So you go back and then also reduce. That will give you an image. Oh, this is why he reduced the space in between the words. So yeah, that's it for today. Let me read the last comments that we have. Tomorrow is the lesson. Thank you much for your time, sir. You are most welcome. Thank you for today. Yeah, it was impactful. Can't wait to present tomorrow. I really enjoyed the session. Typography, white space, typefaces are all important. Yes, they are. There is some works that you see and then maybe someone portrayed out the information and then it is purely just words or just typefaces and no images, and then you clearly get the information. Let me share an example one, because that's the work I wanted to give you. I wanted to give you an assignment of you going back, create any design, don't put any images there, just within the fonts, and we wanted that thing to portray out the information that you were giving out. So that was going to help you play around with different fonts, see how you can match them, each to complement the other. Yeah, Karesebo, for us, we are here tujja kuyiriba, as you always say, and gabamaje kuyiriba paka last. I want to share some design here. Let me say only font flyers in my Canva and see if we can get on the fonts. Let me share my screen katini mukaka senti. Fonts are key. Sorry, the class is closed, but this is just an extra thingy. So you see this font? Okay, yeah, there's a few pictures, but yeah, maybe Canva has not given me the right pictures that I wanted or the right things that I wanted, but yeah, sometimes with just words, your thing can come out well. They're adding images there. You see? Signages on the roads, that's fonting. So stop. Yes, he added this, but the fonts you are using. We shall find you doing signage of soap and then you have put calligraphy there. Staff only, you always see these things. So a font says a lot, font family says a lot, font type says a lot, the color, the hierarchy you are using. Okay, it can be complemented with other things. Good vibes. Sometimes you just find text somewhere and then it is beautiful text. It says everything. You love the design, but that design doesn't have things there, doesn't have, images there. The people that worry, me, I don't have good designs because we don't have beautiful pictures around us, blah, blah. You see this font? It doesn't have pictures, this flyer, but it is saying it all. It is explaining something. Yeah, it is not that beautiful to me, but maybe it says things that, Yeah, I failed to get one example that I want, but this one also says later as like an image. You see the thank you, the selfish, like you read and then you have the sales thing. He just gave it a good background, sales at 50%, limited offer, buy now, shop now. Boom, it is done. And then it is like, you already know what it is. It is a 50% discount. It has already attracted you. Even if you look aside and you look back at it, it has already pulled, it has already attracted you. Without any image, they are attracting you to a 50% sale. So he combined two fonts, two typefaces. This is sans serif. we say there are three: sans serif and then the serif. So the one that has these bookmarks, the one that has the endings, and then the one that doesn't have. The serif has these ones. By the way, this guy used this slide. Let me show you. Yet the bad thing, it won't paste there. Copy and paste it here. It won't paste, but let me share this slide. That side, Katini, Control Z. Yeah, agamba ebyokwemenya n'ensi nze sibiriimu. When they learned, he did the serif up here, sans serif here. Here I wanted to do the decorative one, but yeah, but that's it. As we were learning how to combine text, you can always combine these two, or you can always use this one. Or if you are, then another rule that was good in the other book for the lady, she said, limit the playful fonts. You have a playful font everywhere, like up. You have told us wishing you a happy birthday, then down, then the name is in a playful font, then the other is in a. So please limit the playful fonts. You can't have them everywhere. But yeah, that's the point for today. End of today's lectures. I wish you all the best. Bye-bye. What about the teacher who told us to bring? They will be coming on a Thursday, I think. I'll talk to her. She's a lady, maybe a lady will inspire you more. She taught me a lot. She's much into designing. Yeah, initially I wasn't into designing. I was into web and what, but web work was good. So it taught me some tips that pulled me to this side. So they will come on a Thursday. Inshallah. I sign out. Bye-bye.